on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 38
You have an amazing person, so I'm going to let him introduce himself. Please.
Hi, it's my pleasure to be here. My name is Chris Namjo.
Chris, it's so nice to have you here. I'm really happy to have you here. Yes.
Great to be finally here.
Yes, I'm looking forward to having you here. So thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. So some people, including myself. So
Crying help. My savings are not saving. We know how it is now when it comes to money issues, or money matters rather, not issues. You're trying to save, and this our regime is not really helping. But I'm not go much into that. Our finance professional here would give us all the gist. So your savings are not really saving. You're saving, but it's not saving. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. It's all about money. So stay tuned, and please like this video so that more people can see it and join us. So yeah, let's go into it. Okay, one more thing, don't forget to engage with us in the comment section. Please, you can ask questions and you can share your contributions in the comment section, and we'll take it. All right, so Mr. Chris. So the first question is, what are some effective strategies for building and sticking to a budget? He's wanting to build it, but then sticking to it.
Stick to it. All right.
Yes.
Once again, thank you very much for this opportunity.
Yeah.
I think basically before we even delve into some of those strategies, is first to understand that if you don't plan, most times you fail.
Okay.
You have to plan. It's important to plan. Whatever you want to do, plan. So it applies to your finances as well. So the idea of budgeting simply means you are allocating certain aspects of your income to particular expenses, to maybe savings, to expenditure, whatever it is. Once you do that, so the key to any budget basically is to ask yourself, where do you want to go to? So let me even be as broad as, let's say, the country itself, Nigeria. You hear that the budget for next year is released the year before, and then is deliberated on because there are projections.
Yeah.
The country wants to, maybe they are saying, okay, we want to make this amount, we're going to make this amount of money going from the factors we have seen. And then when we make this amount of money, this is what we want to expend from this amount of money. So basically, the first thing about any budget is, where do you want to go to? What is your plan? What is your projection? And then once that is sorted, what are the fixed terms of, what are the fixed ways you're getting money? Are you on a salary? Do you do business? Is your profit steady? These are some of the things you consider before deciding that, okay, let me pen down a budget. And then finally, let it be realistic. Some budgets are unrealistic, so you have to consider a lot of factors like the ones I mentioned, and then have a realistic budget, something that will not end up being too verbose for you to achieve, or too it will just end up stifling you basically. So those are just some of the basic principles in setting up a good budget. And then sticking to it, it's just discipline basically. It's just knowing that this is my goal, and then I want to achieve this, so I'll be disciplined enough to stick to that.
That discipline part. Even with press, okay, I think we're going to get more into that. Yeah, I know that. I actually would say also that it's discipline, but there's still how do I discipline myself in the midst of so many things happening now, so many things calling for your attention and all that. But we're going to get into it as we move on. So why is savings important? Do you think it's important? Why is it important to save?
It's important because I mean, we basically are humans and we have needs, and then some of these needs are not immediate. So there's always the need to always save for different purposes. So basically, you save because you perhaps have a goal in mind that your current level of financial capacity may not allow you. So you save for that. You could also save for unforeseen expenses. For instance, you project that maybe you're a newly married couple. You project that you want to have a child in your first year or two. So you could save for the child's needs. Do you get? You could also save for you could invest as a means of saving. You could save because you want to guarantee a certain kind of future for yourself. Do you understand? You could also invest as a way of saving. It depends on the risk you're looking at. So savings basically in its raw form, in terms of just setting money aside after you have expended. So you got let me just break it down. You have income, and then you have expenses. So, for instance, you are on a salary of 100,000, and then your expenses for the month is let's say 40,000. You're left with 60,000. So the idea is to set aside a particular part of that money that you don't need at the moment, but you don't want access to it because you feel okay, because you are in a world where you see things every day. You don't want to expend that. You just keep it aside. So once you have your income, you've done your expenses, what is left is supposed to be for your savings.
Okay, that's cool. So it's important that you don't wait till, like, the married couple, you don't wait till the baby comes before you'll start trying to. I think also save for opportunities, just in case. So you can just put money aside, not for anything in particular, but just in case.
In fact, that's a higher level of financial discipline, where you just say, okay, I'm keeping this money aside for investment opportunities that may pop up. So you could save for that. The only challenge with that kind of savings is, I wouldn't say challenge, it just requires a higher level of discipline. Some people put in some of those monies away from where their eyes will see them, so that they will not be tempted. But that's also another way of saving.
Okay, cool. All right, so the next question I want to ask is, how important is it to have a clear financial goal while trying to save money? You're trying to save, and having a clear financial goal, but at the same time you still want to save. I don't know if it's the question.
It's clear. So it's from the word clarity, it's just, what do you want?
Okay.
What do you want? Are you someone that is that wants to achieve one or two things financially? What are your goals? Once you have that, you also align your finances to it. It's like someone that is saying, oh, I want to resume work early, so you have to have an early night. So naturally, once your body rests, you'll be able to wake up early. So for your financial goals, it's important to cultivate a habit of setting aside some part of whatever income you get from the very early times of earning, even in little terms. Say you start out, some children do it. You see a child who gets money from maybe an uncle or an auntie, and then the first thing we were taught to do is to take that money to your parents, and then and then they save it for you, even though some parents, we know that some of those monies never, but they'll tell you that no, they used it to get for something for you. But then again, from that simple experience, you just learn to set aside funds, because as a child, you know that some of your basic needs are sorted. You don't have to worry about accommodation, feeding, clothing. So that money comes to you, but you set it aside. So for you to have a clear financial goal, you need to know that, okay, this is my plan, this is my goal, this is where I want to. It could be in education. You could say, okay, I want to further my education. So while I'm still working, I'm getting income, I've sorted out my basic expenses, I will set aside this money for my education. In 4 or 5 years, I should be able to achieve this. So the key thing is, one, knowing what you want, and then sticking to discipline. When it comes to money, you cannot say, oh, on your own, you just know, keep it. It's discipline. You have to tell yourself, this thing, is it a need? Is it a want? For some people, you could have a student who is using a phone of maybe 300, 400,000, and then that student's school fees is less than 100,000. So basically, as a student, except you're using that phone as a means of getting income, maybe you do content creation or sorts. But if you want to trend and maybe have the things that your mates have, you may end up wrecking your savings. You may end up not even having a savings at all. And the importance of savings cannot be overemphasized. It's like you're going to fight against the needs and wants, and then your savings are like your extra bodyguard. Once you have them, they just come in handy. To cover for, in quotes, rainy day.
My savings have actually saved me a lot. Oh, that's cool. So let's talk more about discipline. How do we avoid the temptation of dipping into our savings for maybe things that maybe you're saving for, what do I use now, a child,
Yeah.
so to say, and then things come up that is not for the child, but also
True.
important. So how do you
True.
avoid that temptation of dipping into your savings?
So the first thing basically is to understand why savings. So a lot of people in the bid to save deprive themselves of the basics of life. So if it's clothing, if it's food, if it's shelter, these are basic. And then among all of this, there are the ones that are necessities.
Okay.
So to an extent, how many clothes can you wear? If you want to buy the most advanced of phones, trust me, as iPhone 15 will soon come out, they are thinking about 16. So
I
you
heard
need
it's out already.
I think it's out already. So you need to understand that if something is not a basic need, you can excuse yourself from it.
What if it's very, very, very important? Even if it's not a basic need.
Importance, okay, it depends. So for instance, someone could be a family member,
Or
could
maybe
be
emergency situation.
emergencies.
Yeah.
Those things come up. So that's why it's important to even save for these things before they come up.
Okay.
I know, personally, I used to have an app, Reach, where I record all my expenses for the day. So at a point in my life, I knew that I was pressed to get a car because, of course, my peers were getting cars. And then with Reach, I realized, Chris, you don't need a car right now. Because what was covering for my transport, my office wasn't far from my house. And then I didn't really need to move outside of work. So for me, that app helped me to know that, okay, this might be a need, but it's not a necessity. Now, in the case where you have savings and then there are emergencies, you weigh the options. Would you rather lose this person who is so dear to you and is in the hospital and have money stacked up, or you would make an exception and then sort out that person? However, you also need to get the point that sometimes we are blackmailed emotionally in Africa by family members to sort out certain things. You cannot meet all of the needs. Your name is not El Shaddai. You can't provide everything. You can just you can help out as much as you can. So yes, while I will not encourage people to be selfish, I will also not encourage them to consider everything as a priority. Some things are not so important. Some needs would cater to themselves.
Okay, but I feel like the case of an emergency, maybe a loved one is not well. If you dip into your savings that was meant for something else and cater for that, then I feel like one thing, the other now suffers because of that. I don't know. So
Yeah, it does. So it's like I said, it's also about you as a person. If you even before you get to that point, that's why it's important even to save for stuff before it happens.
okay.
There
So there should always be savings that is not
emergency funds.
Oh.
I have at the last, I think I have 7 accounts. The accounts I just keep monies in because I have this is my savings, this is my investment, this I don't need it for now. So it's there.
7 accounts.
Once you do that, once you can effectively apportion money in that manner, when in quotes the rainy days or the 7 years of famine comes in, you'll be able to help. You would have something that can cater to that without affecting your financial goal, without affecting what you were saving for. And then what if that thing doesn't come? You have extra cash, nothing to lose.
That's true. So do you think it's important to have somebody to help with, like, now maybe like you said, you have 7 accounts, different places, you are putting money for different purposes, just so that you don't get into this temptation of spending what you're not supposed to spend.
Yeah.
Do you think it's important to have like somebody that is monitoring or helping to follow up, make sure that you are doing that? Or
I would yes and no. Yes, because of course you can't completely look at yourself. A lot of times it is what people see about you most times is actually a reflection of what your life is. So you could see yourself as someone who is very prudent financially, and then you get yourself just one pair of jeans and one shirt every week, and then someone else is looking at it like, guy, do you need to buy clothes every week? Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that's the importance of having someone maybe advise you on your financial decisions, but ultimately it is your choice. Someone could advise you, but the money is in your account.
Abi.
You have the password to your app. It is your choice to go and use that ATM card.
Or better still, maybe you could just put it in the hands of another person.
I
You would
do-
not
I
advise
d-
that.
I don't advise that, because money, people, it's not a healthy mix. Yes,
Because
because
even if you don't trust yourself on saving it effectively, you could just, okay, maybe my friend can do better.
a lot
if
of
it's with my
a
friend,
lot
I may
of
not.
a lot of relationships have gone because of money.
Oh,
So
wow.
sometimes it's just best you be disciplined enough to have it. You could have it in an account that you don't have access to, if it
Okay.
helps you,
Okay.
because you may end up giving that person that money, and then someday you need the money and the person is telling you it's not
Stories.
time, and then you're
Stories
it's
and
not my
such.
money again. So yeah, but if you can be disciplined to listen to that person, you could do that.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. So, what are the benefits? Yeah, I know you're in the banking sector, so yeah, let's do some. What are the benefits of setting up automatic transfers to savings accounts?
Okay, yeah. It's more like having somebody, more like having someone just set up an auto save for you.
Okay.
The benefits are enormous,
Okay.
because you could be overwhelmed with life and then just go through it, forgetting that you need to do this.
Yeah.
And then when the money comes in, you just attend to the first financial need that pops up. But once you have an auto save, it just picks up that money automatically at a set date and then warehouses it somewhere. So it's very important. It helps you keep track of what you're doing. It also helps you, in a way, have a semblance of control. That gives you control. Once you set that up, it helps you feel like there's a semblance of pride that comes from saying, I've been disciplined enough to keep saving my
Yes.
money, and then look at what I've done in the past maybe 1 month or two. So it's important.
Okay. Let's talk interest rates. There was one bank. I opened a savings account because I can't call names. I opened a savings account and I was putting money there like monthly or anytime money comes up. But they actually even told me that if I'm saving something, or I don't know, Sha, that there will be some interest rates coming in. But my brother, I think the money was rather reducing. Like, I don't know. There was always one debit money for and all that. So, would you advise using? I don't even know how to ask this question. The regular banks or set up your savings somewhere also, because after that experience I actually closed that account and went to this fintech online banks and the rest and all. I don't know what do you have to say about that.
Yeah, again, it's still I wouldn't sit here and say fintechs are not okay. I'm only going to say a lot of times when it comes to money and your money in banks, it's more like you're giving up a level of trust. And then some people believe that trust is so fragile. Let me just give it to anybody that is just available. Some people believe, oh, you have a proven track record, so let me give you. Or some people believe, you have a physical branch, so if my money misses, I will make sure I go to that place. I know their office, I can go there. So that's entirely based off on your personal decision. Yeah, for savings and interest rate, it also depends on the situation of the economy. So banks could give higher rates. Yes, banks could give higher
I didn't know
rates.
that.
Yes, bank could give higher rates to encourage more people to bring in funds.
Okay.
Like currently now, I know the rates for bonds, treasury bills, those are instruments basically for saving, for investing. The rates are quite high because there's a need for a lot of cash that are in the hands of people to be mopped up. So even banks, I know banks are offering as high as 7%, 6%, and then there are conditions to qualify for interest rate. A lot of people just believe, I have a savings account, I dump money there every now and then, I go and remove 1,000 from my 1 million, and then you've done that like 6 times in a month, you won't qualify for interest.
Oh,
Basically, there's a number of withdrawals you're allowed per month.
okay.
That's for some banks, I think it's 3. For some banks, once you do the 4th withdrawal, you forfeited the interest for that month.
Okay.
And then it's how we operate some of the accounts we do in Nigeria. So a savings account is supposed to be an account where, like it says, you save money. So
But
people use
this account that I just spoke of, this
Yeah.
experience. I never withdrew the money. I was not touching it for anything. But there was always one debit or the other.
there should have been interest, but maybe you didn't feel it because, for instance, the amount that the percentage of interest you were getting was less than the debit. So I know of stamp duty charge, I know of SMS alert, and I know of account maintenance for current accounts. So a lot of times when you plus and minus the interest you're getting and then some of the charges that are coming, it doesn't add up.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up. So I tell people, if you want to save because don't save because there's an interest, except of course it's in large forms. Save because you want this fund. If anything comes on it, good and fine, thank you. But if you need to double your money,
Yes.
invest.
Okay.
Nobody gets rich by just saving. Just invest.
Mommy, I used to save where there's interest. I'm looking for interest. Okay, let's get to the comment section and take some of the comments from our viewers. Thank you for joining us. So Joy Eze says, have a realistic budget, right? Okay. Asima Doisi says, higher level of discipline. Okay, I guess they're taking notes, noting everything you're saying. Joy also says, know what you want and be disciplined. This comment, I'm not sure I understand that one yet. Let me skip it. Okay, Asma Dosi says, do not consider everything as priority. True. Emmanuel Johanna says, make no bank go reduce my money. Oh. All right, Reverend Arome Tokula says, the interest is used to help you pay for your charges. Honestly, the interest is used to pay for charges. I think that's what's happening. But I get the explanation you've.
Yeah. Okay. Just to add, so there are times that people have questions concerning savings and investment.
Yeah.
So it's important to, like I said, everything is tied down to your goal.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to build capital, you can start from anywhere. I see people, no, this money is too small, I cannot invest. Invest it. It helps you understand the economic world. Like I said earlier, if you're relying on interest rates to get rich for just savings, but if you invest your money, you're putting yourself out there. The higher the risk in the financial sector, the higher the risk, most times the higher your chances of getting returns. So you could look for a business, share the risk with that person, or even start up a business.
Okay.
What people don't understand is sometimes when you start up a business, like I mentioned earlier, it's important to allow the business have a life of its own. Okay. So don't start a business with the money you are supposed to use to eat, or the money you are supposed to use for your rent or for clothes. If you want to do a business, set aside a certain level of amount that you want to use to either commit to somebody or share the risk with someone. And then that business will grow. You're not investing in your first few times of few days or months of doing business. Let it stand. Don't, maybe your first 1 or 2, 3 profits, you just take it and then you say, I've made this one, let me go and eat it. No. That business needs to develop capacity over time to stand, and then you get profit. But the best way to save most times, if you are risk averse, you don't want to take risk, just put it in the bank and then let them use it to be doing business on your behalf and giving you interest. Or invest in treasury bills, invest in federal government bonds. Some of these investments are long term.
Okay.
You could get something for a year at say 18% or 20%. Currently, I know the current government is doing a lot to trap funds. So they give attractive rates to, I think, 18 to 20%. So you could invest, say, ₦1 million and you get a return of maybe like 70, 80K. So for you, if that 1 million is not something you need to use in 1 year, you could go to a bank that you want to purchase treasury bills. They sell it to you at a discounted rate of say 900,000 or 930. You get an instant return. You get that 70K that you can use, and then your 1 million is locked. It's locked because you have bought treasury bills. Treasury bill is backed by the government. Whatever happens, except the world ends. If not, government is a growing concern. You'll be paid. And then there are federal government bonds. Bonds are like instruments also in the financial sector. You could buy as low as 50,000, 100,000. Just keep it there. After 1 year, you'd get the return. Some of them are paid interest on a quarterly basis. But a lot of people don't know this, so they just feel like, let it be in my account. And once it's in your account, you have app, you have your ATM.
Yeah.
Trust me, you justify the reason why you should take out that 10K on a Sunday afternoon to just take ice cream.
Oh my God. Let me not laugh like I'm guilty. I'm not.
I didn't mention it.
Okay, well, this federal government bonds, I think I'm hearing it for the first time, and I think it's something I would like to do.
So once you're interested, if you have an account in any of the deposit money banks, just approach any of them. They'll guide you on how to do it.
Okay.
It's more like it helps you start the discipline of saving. Once you can set aside an amount, however meager it is, for that long, you just gradually keep building yourself up.
Okay, that's great. I hope we've learned something from that. Our time is almost up. I was going to ask if you're in between saving money and investing, which should you choose? But from everything you've said, I think investing give to someone who feels like they can never get ahead financially. Just to wrap up, what advice would you give to someone who feels that this thing, I don't think I can do it?
Okay, first up is a feeling. Sometimes you feel like sleeping, but you don't sleep.
Yeah.
So feelings are fickle. You could feel that way, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is what you have or that is who you are. It's your choices. First up, you'd need to start making very deliberate choices about your finances.
Okay.
You understand?
Choices,
people don't understand that where your heart is where your treasure is, where your heart is. So if you are the one to always, your data is finished and you are restless, you just, the next 2K that comes to you, you just sob.
More data
And
is
then
life.
in a way, it depends on what you're using it for. You understand?
Yeah.
You can't be trying to get your life together and then you're spending 50,000 on data in a month.
No.
People don't track it. No, that's true. People don't track it, and
That's
these are some
possible.
of the
Yeah, you won't know
these are
that
some
you
of the
spent
things that
that
eat
much.
into your expenses. And then you don't have to. As a student, you can start saving for your house. That's what people don't understand. You can start setting aside a certain amount of money that you use to buy your own house. Real estate is another big way of investing, a sure way of investing, because landed property doesn't depreciate.
Yeah.
So as a student, you could say, okay, I'm getting into the university now. Let me start saving for my house. Set aside money, no matter how small it is. Over time, you can take out that cash, maybe add something to it, and then you can buy yourself your house, or use that money, reinvest and get more. But it has to be a deliberate choice.
Yeah.
Deliberate choice to tell yourself, this is not a priority right now. If it's that phone, trust me, Pixel 9 or 11 or 15 might come out next time. Just make better choices.
Okay, our time is up. Thank you so much, Mr. Chris,
Thank you,
for
Bella.
the insights. I think I have learned so much, and that's federal bonds.
Government bonds.
I'm definitely going to do that.
You should.
I'm
You
definitely
should.
going to do that. So
You should.
thank you so much, and
Thank you. It's been my
all
pleasure.
of you that joined us today, thank you so much. Please, before you leave, make sure you like this video so that other people can get to see. YouTube will show it to more people and they will watch. So I believe with this few points of his and everything he said, your savings will save, and they will save you. They will save you when the time comes. So just be disciplined and deliberate and all that. You can go back and rewatch and take notes, and I'm sure that your savings and your financial that will take a new turn after this. So thank you so much once again for coming on here.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you everybody for joining us. So we'll see you next Friday, same time, same station. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so before you leave. We'll see you next week, same time. Bye-bye.
Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out. Don't miss the HSPOD airing every Friday on YouTube at Christ Family Ministry by 2 p.m. We bring you exciting topics from health to love to family to sports, business, and yes, Jesus is at the center of it all. And guess what? We have an exciting new future. You can now call in during the show to contribute and ask questions on 081 3831 5835. Don't miss out.